Fountain of youth. Stay with me because we're going to talk about the fountain of youth. I'm going to tell you exactly how to find it, and in a very, 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 very easy layman's terms explanation. I've done this many times already, but I'm doing it again because there's people that haven't seen this. Fountain of youth is up here. This is where anti-aging really is. It's inside the fountain of youth. We'll make a little lock. There's a little lock, and you got to go to combination to get in there. So we'll put a space right here because there's something I'm going to stick in here. This line down here, this represents average. This line represents average. This is the fountain of youth. Average is pretty much, everything below average is pretty much what's going to be out there making people think that they're on, some type of anti-aging regimen or lifestyle or whatever. Everything's going to be below average. Your ketogenic diet, your intermittent fasting, your anything that's out there is going to get people at best to average or below. There's all this other space up here, but people are so far below this that striving for average is to them is even they can't even understand what all this is about up here. Can you even see this? Doesn't matter. I'm gonna say it. So I'm not gonna harp on everything that's below average. I'm just gonna tell you everything is below average. To get above average and to get to where now you're actually got a chance at even just slowing down the freight train to death, and even slowing it down a little bit. Okay, if you're slowing it down, you're above average. Okay, you're above average. If you're below average, you're still on the freight train to death, and you're doing things that make you feel good because whatever you're making you feel good, but you're not accomplishing anything as far as anti-aging. Doesn't mean the people are bad that they're doing it. Sometimes the people that are selling this stuff are bad. Actually, a lot of the times they are. They're frauds. Most of them are. Not all of them though, but most of them are. Most of them are cons and frauds, and you have to be to make money. That's how in order to make money, you pretty much have to be a liar. So when it comes to this stuff, people have to lie and make people just tell people what they want to hear, which is lies. So I'm not going to harp on that. I already said too much. I don't want to do that. But anyways, okay, that's average. Most people are starting so far below we're not even put a line there. I have categorized into 4 key elements. There's many things inside of those key elements though, but I've categorized them into 4 main ones that are easy to understand, that you have to strive to perfect. And you have to understand where perfect is without being closed-minded, and without just going, well, I don't want to do that, so that doesn't fall in line with what I think. Because what people think keeps them way below average. People want to hear stuff that keeps them way below average. It's human nature. The 4 key elements are the diet, lifestyle, in this order: diet, lifestyle, mindset, and then the exercise, the training, whatever. But it's in this order because we'll start this line from it doesn't end. The line comes up, and we're seeking this right here. We're seeking anti-aging, the fountain of youth. That's the diet. And here's another one. This is the lifestyle. And here's another one coming up. This is the mindset. And then we'll put a little asterisk on this one. This one is the exercise or the training or whatever. People need to understand in that too. And I'm not going to talk about that because I talk about that in other stuff. People need to understand the differences between exercise, working out, training, sport, and then hardcore physical manual labor. I defined all those too, and what people should be doing and what types of people should be doing what. And I will say this, for anti-aging, exercise and working out and training is the borderline. For anti-aging, training is the borderline. That's more of an advanced level. Most people should be exercising and working out. People don't, they need to know what that is. People do sport as exercise, which is, you can, but they do it wrong. People work out and they're really like just deteriorating themselves. They're not doing it in an anti-aging fashion. It doesn't make them bad, it's just, they just don't know. We're talking about anti-aging, we're not talking about bodybuilding, we're not talking about powerlifting, we're not talking about anything that's on the internet, we're talking about anti-aging for reals and finding that fountain of youth, getting the combination and using it to get in there and swim around and play around in there. So diet, lifestyle, mindset, and exercise, they're all important, but it's in this order because the diet kicks off everything else. If the diet, if you aim to perfect your diet, it'll help you change your lifestyle and your mindset. These are actually the harder, for me personally, lifestyle and mindset are the two hardest things. Diet is easy. The lifestyle and the mindset are the two hardest things for me. And I'm constantly striving to perfect all of it. But for me, those are the two main things that I really have to focus on, because I can let things slip. I can let my mind slip and I can start thinking in different ways that don't get me here. My lifestyle, those two kind of go hand in hand. But the diet starts it all off, because you can't have a horrible diet and perfect those. It can't happen. It will not happen. So, in order to get up here, we have to strive. This is all perfection up here. I left this space open because this is something that it's an easy way. It's one word, and it's an easy way to understand the path to the fountain of youth. The bar, it's high, set. That's perfection, right? In order to get there, in every aspect of what we do with our diet, our lifestyle, our mindset, never mind this one. This one comes along for the ride. That's a byproduct of those, but it's still a very, very important element. But it's individual, Everyone's going to be at whole different levels and everything, when it comes to that. But one thing that if all these things have to run through, and you have to run towards, and you have to understand that in order to get here, you have to come closer and you have to seek out nature. You have to, and this runs all the way down from wherever someone's starting. Okay, it's at the top, because you have to be able to run through it to get up to here. So, but that word goes all the way down, and wherever you start from, you have to seek out nature in your diet. You have to seek out nature in your lifestyle. You have to seek out nature in your mindset. You have to. If you do not, nothing will happen. Nothing. You will stay way below average, and you will just follow whatever is trendy, whatever's going on the internet, whatever they're saying to do this, to eat this way, to eat that way, whatever makes you feel good. And that's where most people are. But by nature, it means, see, the way that the pace of our world right now is so fast that nobody can keep up with it. And everything is it's almost like for me, stepping back and staying, and even though I have to be in this technology world, I make my living on the computer. I call it the death machine, though, I call my computers, I have many of them, and I make my living on them, and I've been doing it for years. I call it the death machine because it reminds me, hey, I have to do at some point in life, man. My goal is to be completely off of technology because that's seeking nature. But for the time being, you have to pick and choose when it comes to really super serious decisions like that, like making your living so you can actually eat food and have shelter and those things, right? Those are the decisions that you get that it's just because of the world we live in, right? You can't, those are like real decisions. Even though sometimes we can make ourselves think, we can always fool our own selves, in our mind, and make ourselves think, hey, I'm making the right decisions when really we're making the wrong ones, when we can be tougher on ourselves. We can always do that, but still we do our best. Something like that is a real decision. Little tiny little things that weigh us down and keep us weighed down, that would be in our lifestyle, right? That would be in our lifestyle, we get rid of. Because you're trying to climb this mountain. You want to get rid of all these things that are just on a superficial level, on the stuff like that. You got to get rid of it. And if you go, well, I don't want to get rid of this, I don't want to get rid of that, then pretty soon you just hoard everything, and you're just being weighed down with all the same stuff that you've always been weighed down with. Nothing will happen. So you can't, and it has to be all of them. It has to be all of them. And through nature, seeking nature, it helps you understand what you got to do along the way, because it's not easy. And it's every day. It's Groundhog's Day. This is Groundhog's Day. Anti-aging is Groundhog's Day. It's Groundhog's Day forward. But your body remembers the days before. So while within let's say you have a 24-hour sleep period, so let's say you're on a 24-hour time clock. From the time you go to sleep to the time you wake up, now you have to do it all over again. From the time you go to sleep and you wake up, and you have to do it all over again, and love it. Can't be a grind. Nothing can be a grind, and nothing can be like taxing on you mentally. Otherwise, nothing happens. Everything has to be. You have to be it has to be a healthy obsession, is what I call it. You have to be obsessed with it, but it has to be a healthy obsession. So, but while you have to do that every day, if you screw something up during that one day, that can ruin what you did previously. It could ruin months of it. It could ruin weeks of it. It could ruin days of it. It can ruin what you did before. It's not just going to ruin that day and then you start over the next day. It ruins what you did before. Now, that's hard for a lot of people to be able to listen to, because they want to hear something that's more coddling to them, like, cheat this, cheat that, cheat this, cheat. Everything's a cheat. Everything's a feel good about. It's okay. Don't hate yourself for this. Don't hate yourself for that. That's not anti-aging. That's what people. That's below average. That's fine. But we're talking about getting up to the fountain of youth. It's not part of it. All right. You can screw something up in one day. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean you should not hate yourself for it. But you have to know it. That makes you harder. It makes you tougher. It makes you stronger. It makes you be able to, at some point, go, you know what? Hey, yes. Then maybe you do that 10 times, and then the 11th time, you abstain from whatever it was that took you back, 50 steps. You didn't do it. You know how good that's going to feel? That happens to all of us if we're trying to get here. It's going to happen to all of us many times. This is life. This is lifelong stuff, man. This is not something that just goes on for a week or 2 weeks or a month. This is forever. Do you see up in here? I will live. I'm 42 years old. 42. My blood work says that I'm decades younger. My goal is to thrive well into my hundreds, 130, 140. I'm not exaggerating. I see myself living at that age. Realistically, I could say I want to live forever. That's what I do say. I say I'm going to live forever, and I'm going to live and be, I'm going to live longer than Methuselah, stuff like that, right? But, realistically, 130 years old, that's realistic to me. And that's just, I don't know, people could laugh at that, but to me, that's where my sights are set. That's where I believe everyone's sights should be set. Everyone's sights should be set there. But it's not good enough to just get excited and get high off of thinking that. Because there's people who will watch this right now and they'll get some pep in their step listening to stuff I'm saying, and then they'll lose it all tomorrow or the next day or a week after or whatever. You should not. Don't let yourself get overly excited, because when you go up too high, you're going to come down. You want to be more even keel about everything. I know we have emotions. I'm kind of an emotional person too. So, we have that. I'm not saying to sedate yourself or whatever, keep your emotions, but you know what I'm saying, man. Because I know how it is to get hyped up about something. And then, once it wears off, then you won't do it. This is about adding decades of high quality living. And by high quality living, this means anti-aging through the whole thing. Doing things that continue to anti-age you. So when I say this, I'm not saying you're 80, 90 years old and you're running marathons and you're doing triathlons. That's pro-aging. People could do that, and that's their right. And you know what? It's pretty awesome when you see old people, doing triathlons and stuff. They're not anti-aging. Just because they can do it doesn't mean that they're in shape. Okay? I really don't want to use that term, but that's just something that people know. They're not at optimal health. People who do any sport are generally not anywhere near optimal health. I know that's weird to a lot of people because they think, they kind of relate athleticism and athletes to health, and most athletes are destroying their pro-aging even faster than the people who are way down here because of what it takes to be able to be an elite athlete and what that does to people's bodies. So when I say that, I'm not talking about doing anything that's wrecking you. I'm talking about thriving in life with nothing but anti-aging things. And this is why the word nature needs to stay there, because you're always seeking nature through everything that you're doing. That's where anti-aging is going towards nature. And that's in everything. So I don't have time, because I can sit here for 5 hours and talk, go over, but I want to keep this short because the people that are going to watch this, I want them to watch the whole thing. I've done these videos where they're like 3 hours long, and privately, I could really, 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 really pinpoint on certain things, but this is just a general thing, and I want to keep it under a half hour long, and I hope that I gave, this is the basics right here. This is where it's at, and this is my life. This is my obsession. This is, if you want to know what real anti-aging is, I'm the person that will tell you the way it really is. And I'm telling you right now, man, the stuff that's out there is below average. And some of it even takes people lower than they already are. Some of it, I don't want to harp on it. I'm not going to say things and name names and talk. I'm not going to do that. But I'm telling you, just what I said right there, is that enough for you to understand, to get up to here, to anti-age for reals, naturally, nature. That's it. That's kind of, it's the words are, one of those words just branched off the other one. That means, let me say this too, because for guys, taking TRT, whether even if your doctor prescribes it to you, or if you're doing it on your own and you're taking testosterone and you're taking what you think is TRT, or it's always going to be above what TRT is. What guys take on their own is always going to be more, so that way they can enhance their physique, because that's what they care about, right? That's not nature. That's, if you're taking TRT because you really need it, you're dying. And you should think, whatever you believe in, that you live in a time when that can be provided for you to save your life. Otherwise, you would die very young. If you're young and you need TRT and your doctor says, we've done everything for you, we can't do any more for you. I know. And then, did you try this? No, you didn't. You didn't try this. But you don't know this, right? But we've done everything for you. We can't do any more. We're going to put you on this many milligrams of testosterone, and we're gonna watch you. You're dying. Be glad that is here, that you can do that. You know what I mean? But that's not anti-aging, not even close. So don't think that that's anywhere in this. And females like, putting some type of a topical solution on their face or whatever, putting something on, maybe mixing something up, or that's what women kind of gravitate towards. That's not anti-aging either. We're talking about anti-aging for the mind, the body, and the soul. Okay? That's how you get there. And nature is a nice, easy, simple way of looking at what you got to go through from the very beginning. You have to seek out nature in your diet, your lifestyle, and your mindset, and then your exercise and your training. All that goes along with it. Goes along for the ride, and it just gets better and better and better and better and better. Doesn't mean you're killing yourself. It doesn't mean you can kill yourself now. That's how people think. People think they got to kill themselves, and they think they have to, they have to hurt themselves when they work out, when they exercise, that's not anti-aging. You can do that, but now you're pro-aging. You're doing things that age you. So it has to be beneficial. That's another 500 hours of talking, everybody's specific. Because what people think they should be doing for a lot of things is wrong, man. A lot of things. And I don't want to start talking about it, because then I'll start ranting about stuff. So I gotta eat my watermelon, and watermelon is nature. So that's a meal. Let me throw this in here, and I won't go off on a tangent about eating fruit as a meal. It's a meal. I've been telling people this privately and one-on-one, and some people are scared to do it. And there's salt on there too, because if you eat unprocessed foods, you will not meet your sodium requirements, even close. And sodium requirements aren't necessarily, that's like a minimum. That's a minimum. Everyone has their individual sodium requirements that they thrive with. So I don't want to go off on that, because I have to eat that anyways. I hope that helps. And wherever you're watching this from, go to my website and find out what I'm doing on there. And all the free stuff as of right now. So I don't know if I'll keep this video up, so I don't know if I'll do anything else free. All the free stuff I was doing, aside from the books are free. But all the free one-on-one, anything like that, that's all done. I'm done doing that. I did a lot of that. I did hundreds and hundreds of hours of that. Free. And rates are going up for one-on-one too. They're going to be over 4 figures. So that's where they're going to start. I did hundreds of hours of free one-on-one stuff, because I just, I want people to, before I settle into what I really need to do with this, which is very small, and keep things small and keep things with people that really just want to get here, and then understand it's not like next week it's going to happen, because people are way down here, man. So when you see something like the stuff I'm saying, people start, that's all they know is way below average. So they think that's what is, hey, that's all they know. So I understand that. But I'm on that path, man. I can't let that stuff weigh me down. I live it. I can't let other people weigh me down. It'll become too much, man. So I know what I have to do, and things have to be small, very very small, and not affect my my anti-aging. Anyways, so do all those things. Click on the link below if there is one. If not, follow this back to wherever, and somewhere you will find my website. You have yourself a wonderful night.